Hey guys, welcome back to Barry Mott's channel. Today we're going to talk about what you should bring with you to the hospital for weight loss surgery. Okay, so this is a really hot topic because I feel like people are always so anxious to go to the hospital. They're not sure what to bring with them for surgery. They're not sure what the hospital will have there. So I thought this would be a good topic for us to talk about and share some ideas on things that you felt like you had to have with you when you had weight loss surgery. So the first thing that I would recommend that you definitely bring with you is loose clothing. This is huge because you are gonna be so sore, especially like in your abdominal area where the incisions are, and you don't wanna be wearing like tight jeans or anything like that. So obviously when you're in the hospital, you'll only be in the hospital gown, but when you transfer to go home or you get up and start getting used to being in clothes again, it's really important that you are not wearing these tight fitted clothes that you can't breathe in. So highly recommend bring some sweatpants and a sweatshirt or some loose t-shirts, something that's really going to help kind of breathe. And so that way you're not putting all that pressure in your tummy area. Another thing that is critical for you to bring with you to surgery is some really good shoes. You would think that after surgery, you're gonna do a lot of resting in bed, which you are resting, but it is so important after weight loss surgery that you get up and walk. So they're gonna be really encouraging you to get up and get moving. And you don't wanna be walking around barefoot or in socks because then you might trip and fall and it would be really uncomfortable after surgery. So make sure you're bringing some tennis shoes or some really good walking shoes that you can get up and move in really well. A pillow is another thing that I would highly recommend that you bring with you. This is something I did not bring with me and I really regretted it because for a couple of reasons. I am very picky and I didn't realize it with sleeping how used to my pillow I was. But also it's kind of nice having an additional pillow to like put on your stomach area and kind of just when you cough or something as you're getting used to kind of that pain that you're gonna be a little sore after surgery. So it's kind of helpful to have that if you have to cough or if you have to move around a lot, just having that additional support. Now, obviously the hospital should have extra pillows if you forget it. So it's not like a, end of the world situation. But if you are picky with your sleeping arrangements, I would highly recommend that you bring your own pillow with you. Chapstick. Chapstick is another thing that I'd recommend because if you're like me after surgery, like my body, I don't know, like the way it reacts is really strange. And I just feel like I always get really dry. So I'd recommend bringing some chapstick and also some really good lotion just to kind of help just keep you from feeling like really gross, because as you're getting used to, being after surgery and healing and everything, you're not going to be taking like a lot of showers and stuff like that. And so it's going to be really like important to make sure you're keeping your skin hydrated and not feeling like it's hurting, like especially my face. I remember like I was so red from the IV and just a lot of like the different medications I was on, and it really just dried my skin out. So having lotion would be really helpful because it just, I don't know, it just makes your skin feel better and it makes you not feel so much of a slob. So highly recommend that you bring, that chapstick, that lotion, and just anything else that'll make you feel better about yourself. I would really recommend, like, especially with toiletries, things that'll help you feel like a human, because when you're in the hospital, again, like I said, depending on where you go, you may or may not take a shower there. Some people don't want you to take the shower, especially because your incisions, so you're doing more like a sponge bath. But again, after surgery, like it's just kind of you're laying around, walking around, things like that. Like you're not really like taking care of yourself necessarily. And it can sometimes mess with your mood a little bit. So I definitely recommend find whatever you need to kind of feel good about yourself and kind of give you that pampering that you might need to just kind of bring your spirits up a little bit. Another thing that you want to make sure you do not forget is some sort of entertainment, a laptop, a DVD player, something to, your phone, obviously, like things like that. You are going to be really bored because you're going to be healing. And like I said, you are getting up and walking quite a bit. So that kind of, goes through time pretty quickly, but you're gonna be in a hospital, and it's really boring being in a hospital sometimes, and you know, you don't know what's on TV all the time. So I would highly recommend that you bring some books or laptops, different games that you can play to keep yourself occupied. The last thing that I would recommend that you bring with you, and depending on where you go, they might have it and they might make it available to you, but this is something I'd recommend that you have like right when you get home from the hospital, because you're gonna need it, and that is Miralax. After surgery, it is very hard to use the restroom, and I have found that, you know, during those first couple weeks, you might need a little bit of support. Always, always, always talk to your surgeon about this though, because you want to make sure you're not introducing it too soon, but be prepared that that is going to be something that probably happens, because your body's different, it's adjusting to your new body, and it's just all over the place. So be patient with yourself, be patient with your body, but have that ready to go. Bring it with you just in case, but like I said, have it ready to go for when you get home to from the hospital. The good news is that when you go to a hospital, they have almost everything you need. So you don't need to be too worried about forgetting things, because again, especially like with Toiletries, if you are able to take a shower, they're gonna have that stuff there for you to take a shower and things like that. But like I said, you know, you're gonna be there for a couple of days more than likely, depending on what procedure you had. And it's just really important to make sure that you feel like at home as much as possible, because this is a start of a new journey for you, a new lifestyle, and it is critical that you are in the right mindset. So again, bring things that are gonna make you feel more comfortable, they're gonna make you feel more relaxed, you know, just come with one of those eye patches to sleep in, the face masks, you know, come with those kind of things. Like, try to really use this time, especially if you have children, like maybe it's a little vacation. I don't know about you guys, but I actually enjoy staying in a hospital, like, because it's just like, you kind of have a break for a minute. So enjoy this time. Give your body the chance to heal, give your body the time to rest, but make sure you have these things with you, because it's gonna make sure that your stay at the hospital is a lot more successful. If you just take one thing from this video, let me just tell you, make sure you bring your walking shoes. I cannot say that enough. Make sure you have good shoes, because you don't want to be walking around in barefoot in the hospital. You don't know where all these germs have been. You don't want to just be in socks, because you might slip and fall. So again, take it seriously, because they are going to ask you to walk a lot. We're trying to prevent blood clots. We're trying to make sure things get moving and you get used to your new body. So get up, get moving, and make sure you have those good shoes to do it in. So I want to hear from you guys. What things did you love that you had at surgery with you? Or what do you wish you had with you that would have made it a lot easier for you? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what those items are. All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.